Today we are going to attempt a flight from Tatitlek to Seward. Seward. Don't know how to pronounce that. I must say, just from the start, I'm not sure if we will be able to land there and if the weather is as predicted. And we were like a commercial operations, we would not be even allowed to attempt the approach because the clouds are now forecast to be below minima. um, Below our minima for the approach, but we'll see that. Anyway, we are not commercial operations, so it's up to it's our discretion if we want to attempt the approach or not. I would say that we should, and that might at least give us an opportunity to do a missed approach, like a real one, if we cannot see the runway. The flight itself, not only for this, but in general, might be a little bit longer than usual. I hope that's alright with all of you. And yeah, we have some stuff to brief. So I would start by going into the weather. This is the straight line drawn here, and as we can see, the kind of, let's say, an hour from, or an hour and a half from now, we can see that there is some broken layer predicted here, and overcast at 2.2, overcast at 2.4. The minimum for the approach is actually 2.6 and something. So it depends, what we'll be able to see from the simulator. Currently it's raining here, and that's fine. One thing, we will be flying in the clouds today, and normally that would not be possible with our aircraft, or at least most of our aircraft, because we are not equipped to fly into non-icing conditions. At least I am not. For the sake of simulation and so we can fly, I suggest you turn that off and pretend that it's warm enough. Um, Another thing that interests me are the winds. Surface winds, let's say that have, I'll see what is actually reported here in the sim. In the sim, it reports slight crosswind of 3 knots, so that's even negligible, I would say. And here we can expect either calm winds or some winds from the south, which is good and bad. We'll see why it is good and bad. As I said, there will be icing, so just ignore it if you can, or don't fly if you don't want to be unrealistic. But I suggest that you do fly. Now let's get into the procedures that we're gonna fly, because it's gonna be an IFR flight. And if I look up this base, get closer. I will switch to the IFR charts soon, but first I want to check here. We don't have any graphical departure procedure, so we'll check the takeoff minimums. If I open that and check, we can see Tatitlek, Alaska, and we do have a departure procedure. Now it depends what we are going to, what the runway we are going to use. I would say that runway 13 be used. So backtrack maybe and use runway 13, and it will also help us to kind of fly in the direction that we need to fly. So for runway 13 we have climbing, right turn heading 146. And Johnston Point radial 338 to Johnston Point VORDME before proceeding on course, or for climbing visual conditions, which we don't have today, so let's not consider that. So basically, we depart at 400 feet, we'll turn heading 146, which will be almost by the runway, and then we will intercept this 338 radial. That means that we will be flying inbound course to Johnston Point, which will be, what is it, 158, if I count correctly. Yeah, 158 to Johnston Point VORDME. So that's a departure procedure, and that means that this procedure will take us. Yeah.
Thomas, where did you get that document
Okay.
for the departure procedure?
Yeah, I opened SkyVector, and
Oh,
here are takeoff minimums. And
I see.
this is called, this is not a SIT, obviously. It's really a departure procedure or obstacle departure procedure. That is what
All
you can
right, thank
use.
you.
So this does not have any map. It's just a textual description of the route to take. And of course, you have also takeoff minimums here. So climb of 358 feet per nautical mile to 2,500, or this visibility for climbing visual conditions, which we don't have, right? So
Right.
up until 2,500 feet, you must be able to climb on this gradient, and then it's enough if you climb 200 feet per nautical mile, which is a standard assumption that you can use, or you can fly in order to use any kind of procedure. Right, so that will take us here, and I believe that at this point I can switch to some route map, and I will use that one. Yes. So now we need to get to this airport, and that's this one. It has only one instrument approach procedure, and that is RNF GPS Alpha. So I'll open it. So they had it opened. We have initial approach fix of broil here, but if I go here and do broil, that will take us like here. We don't really have any airway going there, so like that. So theoretically, we are able to like file this, right? To fly from Johnston using Victor 320 all the way to Moray actually, and then direct broil. Using this, we can see that the minimum Oroka is 8,900 feet, so we need to stay like above that. Or if we are radar vectored, by ATC, or in this setup, by ourselves, we can theoretically fly lower. If I just want to get some very generic or general idea, what is the safe altitude on this path, I can switch here to the sectional. And I can see that if we are able to maintain this, the minimum altitude is actually 6,700. Why it says 8,900 is because first it's IFR, and second it might cover different portions of the map. So, but we know that this is like for VFR flights, and if we are vectored, they can probably take us a little lower than 8,900. But even 8,900 should not be a problem, then to descend there. However, if I look at this approach plate, you can see that the intermediate fix is Saki. So just for idea, I will put it here. Yeah, and you can see it's here. And we could already, I believe that I already covered that in at least one flight, is that you do not need to obviously start the approach from initial approach fix if you are vectored, right? So the ATC can even vector you to intermediate fix, and you can start the approach from there. So I believe that for the sake of not making this flight unnecessarily long, I would suggest that we probably forget broil and do something like that. Obviously, for the flight, for the flight plan purposes, I would still keep the broil there because this it can be filed like that, and then we could kind of shorten ourselves here. One thing to notice is that obviously this is a very tight turn, right? And if we were on the airway here, it would, the approach plate would definitely say that the procedure is not available, you know, for the arrivals. At, what this says is, you know, there's a Victor 441 that's going from the south like that, and for that it's not available. Obviously that doesn't apply if, again, if you are vectored on the course. So if you're flying, even if you're flying on the Victor 441, you can still be vectored, right, to this portion of the approach route, and you'd be fine. So for our purposes, I would kind of plan that I am vectored direct to Sakhi, and you know I would come there. Even if we arrive at Saki at 9,000 feet, you know, as like a minimum safe altitude, all the way from Saki to the airport, it's like 15 miles, like that. It's 12, 14, yeah, it's kind of 15 and something. And usually in 15 miles, you would be able to descend with the standard rate of like, you would be able to descend 5,000 feet, right? It's 3 to 1. We would need to descend like 9,000 feet, which is still below 6%, you know, decent gradients, which again, 6% is not standard, but some approaches really do have that as a published, you know, descent angle percent. So, and in our small aircraft, we should be perfectly capable of doing that. So I will plan to arrive at Saki at 9,000 feet and then initiate quite a steep descent. So probably we be like configured at Saki, maybe flaps 2, maybe gear down, you know, already. And why I'm saying that? Because normally if I would want to you know, circle to runway 31, then it would be less of a problem because I would still have some path or some miles to descend, right, while maneuvering for 31. Since the wind is going, most probably is going to be from the south, our available runways likely are either 16 or 13. I leave it up to you. Again, this approach has only a circling minimum because the final approach course is not really aligned with any runway. So that's the thing, and the circling maneuver is any kind of maneuver that will put you on the runway, basically. If I look here, one local altimeter setting not received procedure is not available. So let's see if we are able to even get the local altimeter. So I will enter just these two here and see what we can get. We do have here, we have some SPECI. Currently we have scattered 1,900 and overcast 4,100. So if that holds, we are even able to like legally fly that even as an commercial aircraft. And the wind is actually from the north. If I again read the wind chart incorrectly. No, it seems to be that it should be blowing from the south, right? I read those correctly, I hope. Those were the winds. But again, anyway, on the airport it's reported like 360 from the north. So if that
Yeah,
holds, yep,
no, yeah. Just to confirm, it is blowing from the south.
yeah, according to the forecast. But the METAR says it's blowing from the north. Okay, we'll see what's there on the airport. But anyway, if it's just 4 knots, then you can easily land with the tailwind, especially on the runway that is how long? 4,200 feet. That should be fine. But we'll see when we get closer to it, right? What are the conditions? Circling is not available southwest, runway 13, and west of runway 34. So southwest of runway 13 and west of 34 4. Okay, obviously circling at this area is not available, probably because of the terrain. So any circling to be done on the east there. Yes. Then missed approach is climb to 9500, direct to IVE and on track to 302 hexsec. Basically, this path, right? That is the approach procedure and hold over Seward. Now, if we are not able to land, I suggest that we file an alternate in the form of anchorage. The reason is pretty simple. It is an ILS approach, right? So ILS approach, if I look at it, you know, the minima goes all the way to 328, just 200 feet above the ground. So even if the weather is really bad, we have the most chance of actually going there. It is alternate minima, so let's actually review that, and we will find alternate minima here in this publication. And what this means is that we need to check if we are able to file this airport as our alternate, right? Well, in all cases, we need to see if we can, but this has, you know, some different minima from the standard. So let's see. Anchorage. Is it this one? No, it's probably, let's find it under, yeah, Anchorage International. That was not it, right? Doesn't look like Anchorage International. Here, Ted Stevens Anchorage. Okay. Alternate minimums. Yeah, here. So, what interests us is ILS or localizer runway 7 left, right? 7 left, yes. And there is one, so it seems that category D and category E have different weather minima, right? Which we are not. So the standard minima applies, that's 800 feet, and I believe the standard is 2 miles, if I'm not mistaken. No, must be less. What is the standard alternate minima? Anyone remember? I find it.
I think it's 802, but I'm not 100% sure. Maybe I can
see. Okay, so for ILS it's actually 602.
okay.
And for non-precision it's 802. Okay. So let's review the weather, what we have right now at bridge here. Currently we have great visibility and clouds are high, and terminal area forecast, which is valid, is 6 miles overcast. Yeah, okay, so we can file this one as our alternate. So how do we get there? If we end our holding at Seward, that's good, because then we can fly direct to here, to Anchorage VOR. And Anchorage VOR is question, is that one fixed for this approach or not?
Doesn't look like it.
Doesn't look like it. It doesn't have IAF, right? The only inertial approach fix I can see is here, can I? But that doesn't mean really anything, because they can vector us, right, for the approach, if it comes to that. So that's fine.
Maybe one comment. I guess if you wanted to not be vectored, you could take the ILS runway 15. It's a bit of a long way around, but there's a DME arc that starts from, I guess it's Ivan. Yeah, I guess you could go there on a Victor Airway from Anchorage VOR.
Okay.
If you wanted to do it by the book, or you could just vector yourself.
Yeah. Well, even vectoring is by the book, but we would be kind of providing our own ATC, right? So I know what you mean, or I understand what you mean. So yes, we could. This is kind of long way though, to be honest.
Really is.
It's 22 miles, and then another 10 like here, and then another 20. But yes, obviously we can do that if we want to. So it will be at everyone's discretion, what to do. I won't be briefing here the standard ILS approach. Spend too much time. So obviously, if there are any questions, I will be happy to answer them. But if not, then I believe we can go flying. So giving you some time. In the meantime, I will file a flight plan here on the screen yet. If there are no questions before that, before I finish, we will fly. So, going here for PA20 flight equipment. Well, today it's gonna be GPS transponder. I'll block in, let's say, 15 minutes. So 2010 altitude 10,000, and why 10,000? Because we have 10,000 here, right? Oh well, while
Right.
we are here, question: from which point is the minimum en route altitude 10,000 when we are flying from Johnston VOR to Murray? Knows.
From Nelly to Murray.
From here? Yeah, I can see.
Wait, no, from Kebab.
Kebab. Exactly. In this direction, it's from Kebab. When do we need to start climbing? If suppose that we are maintaining 5,000 here, when do we need to start climbing? Any idea?
When we, I mean, we have to calculate for that when we are assigned by ATC to climb.
Yes, if we, let's say that we are in the situation that we lost our radios and our last cleared altitude was 5,000. When do we start climbing?
We don't.
Well, we actually do, because otherwise we will hit the mountain.
We turn around.
Not really.
Okay.
The like general principle of like the lost radio communications is we stay as predictable as possible, right? If we lose the radio communication, ATC knows that we lost it, and they will expect us to fly to the latest cleared point, and usually that's the final destination. So if we have been cleared for 5,000, they will expect us to climb to 10,000 for this portion, because otherwise we are not safe. But the question is, when do we start climbing?
I guess is that we have to calculate based on
Based on what?
our performance.
So another question, like from the different angle, do we need to be at 10,000 at Kebab? Or not?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Maybe not.
Exactly, not. If we do not have a stipulated minimum crossing altitude, like here, MCA, then we start climbing at Kebab. And as long as we are able to maintain at the climb of at least 200 feet per nautical mile, we are good and we are safe. Our aircraft can do much better than that, so we are safe. And that means that if we climb even like only those 200 feet per nautical mile, and we need to climb from 5,000 to 10,000. That means that it will take us how long? 25 miles climb. Do I count correctly? Yes, I believe I do. Right, 5 miles per 1,000 feet. And that means that we will reach 10,000 someplace there, and we are still safe. Alright, so that's when we start climbing, if that happens. But obviously, normally we are talking to the ATC and get the clearance. Okay, we'll continue here. Airspeed 45, arrival, alternate, en route time. I would say that my en route time is around 1 hour. I will just put hour. Fuel, I will fuel up because yeah, there is like a worse weather, so always bring more fuels to have more time available in the air if needed. Just do this, file it. Okay, and I received auto ATC, and I will use this squawk. Alright, are there any other questions? Because if not, I'll wish you happy flying and hope to see you there.
Happy flying.
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 Okay, first of all, let's fuel up. As I said, I want to bring full fuel tanks. Yes, great. Okay, and we'll do our pre-flight check. Today we'll even test the pitot heat. Fuel tanks read full. I'll keep the pitot heat on for a while and then we'll check that. We'll check that as first, because if I continue with my normal free flight flow, then we won't be able to check the pitot, so we'll start with that. Okay, pitot heat off. We'll switch here. Let's see. Touch it. It's red, so it's hot. Great. Okay, I'll continue from here, and we'll come back to the pitot. We don't want any surprises today. We will be flying in the clouds. Oh, it's still hot. Now it's cold. Okay. Okay, let's finish that. Alright. So, let's start the plane so we can get our engine warm. So, beacon, battery. Mixture full. Drag that one. Let's check for fuel pressure. Pressure rising. Be good. Prime the engine. Give it 4 strokes. Okay. Now, and start the engine. Fuel prop. Parking brake is set. pressure is good. Nice. Mixture a bit. Put on avionics and navigation lights. Gear off. We will set the refuel. Be filled up. Yes, refuel, and we'll fill 60. Exactly, safe. Good. Now, the procedure, departure procedure doesn't rely on GPS, so I won't be entering that. But I will set the destination. I will add John. Do we need to actually? Because I don't want to use the GPS only for the final portion, so I will actually file that one.
Tatitlek traffic, November 36 Foxtrot, type Kodiak on the ramp, taxi to runway 13, Tatitlek.
We have RNF Alpha. What is this one? Reward manual. But must be some special procedure that I'm not aware. I'm not. Yeah, vectors. I'm not aware of. So we will just load it and we'll check that we have a correct frag. Yeah, obviously we will not be flying like that. We will fly through Johnston Point, but that doesn't need to be there. We don't need GPS for that. And from there on, here, yeah, that's actually a correct one. So it will bring us here to Cockpit, the third one. Actually, it's called differently. If I remember correctly, we had Saki, not Cockpit. So Saki should be there.
And Delta traffic diamond 187 Victor Delta taxi runway 13 after the Kodiak.
I guess that what we can do, let's just make this smaller. Believe that we can even put after. Let's see how it looks like now. Yeah, that's what I want to fly instead. Avoid these. Okay. Okay, I'm satisfied with this, so that's map, but I will switch to that now. Alright. Okay. Now I will also sync
Tatitlek traffic, November 36 Foxtrot, entering and backtracking runway 13, Tatitlek.
Alright. I need to tune in the Johnston Point VOR, which is 116.7. It's probably tuned in already in both cases. Yes, so then I'll configure the part of the departure procedure was the Johnston radial 338. So I will be flying to that. So I will put 338 at the bottom here at the tail end, my VOR needle. That's 340.
Tatitlek traffic, Kodiak 36 Foxtrot, departing runway 13, straight out departure, Tatitlek.
And heading will be 146, right? After departure. Cannot understand now how I will intercept that radio. Okay, yeah, I understand how I intercept that radio. Sorry, my bad. Alright, so that's it. So we will be flying that heading. Yeah. Now, the elevation of this field.
And Delta traffic November 187 Victor Delta landing backtracking, runway 13.
Is 62 feet, so I'll just need to. Yeah. Probably like that. Good. Okay. All temp is rising, so I guess since there is nobody behind us, I will do my run up. Oh well, I can do run up a little later. Okay. Tatitlek traffic, Skarkila Golf Papa Charlie on the ramp taxiing for runway 13 Tatitlek. Right, so parking brake goes on.
Tatitlek traffic, Kodak 36 Foxtrot, upwind runway 13, 1200, climbing 10,000. Departing to the southeast, final call, Tatitlek.
Need to switch that one to the one that we've been providing, 2343. This funny runway here, so it's gonna be alright. Okay, temperatures are good, so full. Let's do run up.
Traffic November 187 Victor Delta taking off for runway 13. Tatitlek.
Kind of over. No. Okay. Neatos. Check our carb heat. We might need it in the clouds. And idle. Good. So we'll do times 2. Okay, there's nobody there anymore. Let's go to the actually I think the change first is that we log CDI. Tatitlek traffic, Skarkila Golf Papa Charlie, entering runway 3113 and backtracking runway 13, Tatitlek.
Delta traffic November 187 Victor Delta, point 1100, turning into the southwest, departing the aerodrome, last call, Tatitlek.
Horrible runway here, but alright. Backtrack. Don't need the NDP, so I'll just turn it off. Takes a lot of time to get ourselves prepared and ready. Clouds have disappeared, so we'll see. That's enough. Possibly a nice departure there. The partial sunset. Alright. So trim is fine. Heading slightly off. Good. Flaps to mixture, fuel pump on. We will be going into the clouds, so heated heat on. Okay, let's go. Tatitlek traffic, Oscar Kilo Golf Papa Charlie, taking off runway 13 straight out departure, Tatitlek. Airspeed is alive. Gear goes up. Climb up. Second climb up. Accelerate. Okay, 400 feet, so let's turn to 146.
Tatitlek traffic, Sierra Charlie, Delta Lima, backtracking runway 13.
I want to accelerate a bit. Give us some cooling of the engine. Okay, gear is up, flaps are up, gear is off, fuel pump off.
Tatitlek traffic, 596 for Alpha, and 8
Tatitlek traffic, Oscar Kilo Golf Papa Charlie, 2500, heading south-southeast, climbing 10,000 for Tatitlek.
Tatitlek traffic, Sierra Charlie, Delta Lima, departing runway 13 straight out departure. Tatitlek traffic.
Tatitlek traffic, 596 for Alpha, holding short on 1.2 short for
Very smooth air today. 17 miles up.
Tatitlek traffic, I have 506 Buster Alpha, 40 Brother 13, Charles 43, Tatitlek.
Once we reach this VR, we will be flying 253 radial. I just there that may be here. 253 radial out. Okay. Yeah, 253. is quick. They're very close. back and enjoy. start. And at Nelly, we should fly 6 minutes to Nelly. And Nelly will be identified as 40 miles out. From Murray, we will go to the GPS navigation. This looks nice. As you can see, I'm not using any altitude hold, so it's just the directional or horizontal control. Vertical control is all done by me. Manually. Slightly correct adrift. It's a peaceful flight, isn't it?
Yes?
And for that 73 long stretch, I'm actually using autopilot. I don't know if I should feel ashamed or not.
Does anyone know to mute the simulator in 2020?
If anyone knows what?
To mute the simulator on 2020.
Not sure I understand the question, sorry. I'm on 2020. I might not understand because of the noise of the engine.
Look at the chat.
Let's see. How to mute the sim? Ah, okay. No, I don't know how to mute the sim. Couldn't understand because that's not the question I would expect. Sorry. coming up on 40 miles. Check our time. Should be slightly faster than predicted because we are going slightly faster. Not by much, maybe by 3 or 4 knots. Okay, 6.18, so like 6.3. Okay, not that one. 6.3, and it said 6.2, that's fine. 14 minutes to Muri. 14 more minutes, and then we will reach this point from which we will go directly to Sakhi, which is here, and which is the intermediate fix on the approach. Once we turn towards Sakhi, we can actually descend to 7,600 because that's the minimum safe altitude from Ekakse for 25 miles, which this is inside. So okay, so once we turn towards Sakhi, or actually once we are 25 miles from the airport, we can do that, but how the hell should we know, right? This is like 15 miles, so that's on the verge, but let's not do it like that. Let's actually descend to 7,600 while going towards Sakhi. One thing I noticed, guys, is that if you are going the same way as I do, that from Muri you will go direct to Sakhi, do the intermediate fix, it's actually safe to descend to 7,600 because that's the minimum safe altitude depicted on the approach chart. 25 nautical miles like away from the airport. And once we turn towards Sakhi, then we are 5 miles. Just a tip.
Yep, thanks.
Okay, we have clouds, still clouds, and we have some land as well. We'll see if we are able to break out of the clouds in time. In 5 or 6 minutes we should have a new METAR, that obviously it won't reflect until maybe 15 or 20 minutes later in the sim. But we should at least have the new METAR before we initiate our approach. Yeah, let's turn on the map and let's see. Yeah, basically where we are going, right? Here, Morphe, and we'll continue by the GPS. Still some way off. Actually, like 10 minutes out. That. Cylinder head temp is kind of low. This doesn't have any cowl flaps. How to make it? I don't want to be that low. I want cylinders to be a little bit. Well, I can increase increase power, or I can, I guess, make a mixture, a little bit more. I'd say rich, because I'm kind of lean low, but if I make it rich, it will cool better, but also produce more power. So let's try to actually put it a little bit higher, get the best HP. I don't need the best HP, but slightly higher. I increased my consumption by 1 gallon per hour. I think it's gonna have a good effect there. We can, okay, let's bring it up more. Like this. We'll see if it does anything to the CHT. If not, I'll just pull it back, because we don't need to burn necessary fuel. Also started climbing. Bring it back. Okay, 54. 20 more miles. Once we reach, once we go into the, from Muri to Saki, we will descend to 7,600. Upon reaching Saki, we can go to 6,200. Then Kopvi is 5,900, all the way to Yutani, which is the final approach fix. Then we continue to 4,300 to Brint. Then we have last stretch, just 4.5 nautical miles. Get to Ekaxe, and we will be quite high at this point, so at this point we need to be fully configured, because if we are going to land on one of those runways and we don't want to do unnecessary circuits, then it's gonna be a hard descent, which we will need to descend like 4 miles, 4,000 feet. In the small aircraft, it's not a problem, we can see the field. If we cannot see the field, we will execute the missed approach procedure at Ekaxe and fly climb to 9,500 direct to event according to this procedure. Minimum are 2,660, so we cannot descend below that unless we see the field. So the only risk I can see is that either we will see the field, or then it's quite a steep descent from Brint to Ekaxe. Again, something that is possible to be done, especially when we are approaching from here, and we basically need to maneuver ourselves onto the runway. If possible, I will land on runway 16, I think, because if I check there, let's see the airport. We have here, yeah, we have all the parking right there, so if possible I will land on runway 16. If not, runway 13. We're flying there. Obuzu. That's gonna be yes. Is Christian. Oh, he's going all the way. Royal. Then we have Christoph. We have Valerio. And was there somebody else? Yeah, we have there, we have one. clouds out here. Still going from the right tank. And we have similar level of fuels. Let's do the directional HSI sync. We are going to 5-1 like this. Put it like that. It will drift again. And I will place my my approach plate on a different screen so I can reference it anytime I need. I will switch my frequency to CTAF of Seward. Seward. It's time to switch the this one there. But going directly where I need it to go. Let's switch to GPS navigation now. And I will disconnect the autopilot. Fly it manually. I want it to be configured right for the descent. So let's bring the power down. Let's slow down. And turn on the autopilot. We can activate the approach, I guess. So we'll do flight plan, approach, activate vectors to final, back. Yeah. It's not what I wanted. Okay, so activate light. Yes. I need to activate approach later. Okay, slowing down. I can bring my. Let's do. I want to do flaps already. I don't need to. Okay. Right. Okay, let's go down, and I will put my carbine on. Let's actually do here down. Or in 5 minutes. No, I don't need to. Okay, unnecessary. descend like 500 feet per minute, at least now, and then accelerate that. Let's get the latest weather wanted. The latest weather is 2966 on the altimeter. -66. Overcast 3600. 10 statute miles of visibility. And light rain, which is a problem because the simulator treats rain usually as zero visibility. Let's hope that won't be the case this time.
Seward traffic number 117 Victor Delta going around. Seward.
So first to go around. Let's bring the gear down now. I'm going to slow down to 5 rings plus 1. Okay, 7,600. I don't descend anymore right now. go to 6,200 now.
Seward traffic, November 36 Foxtrot, type Kodiak at 8 miles north, 5,800, descending 2,700, for straight in runway 16, Seward.
Here. Now I can go 5,900. Seems like the descent is not so steep.
Seward traffic, Kodiak 36 Foxtrot, 5 miles north, 4,000, descending 2,600, straight in runway 16, Seward.
Seward traffic, Oscar Kilo Golf Papa Charlie, the Comanche, 10 miles north of the airfield, 6,000 feet, and trying also for runway 16, Seward. Let's put the landing lights on. Now I can descend to 4,300.
Seward traffic, Kodiak 36 Foxtrot, we are over the field at around 2,500. We will proceed to the south and then come back around for a left downwind runway 16, Seward.
Just put this runway 16 there.
Seward traffic, Sierra Papa Charlie Delta Lima is Piper Comanche, approximately 10 miles north to the airport for runway 16, Seward traffic.
Seward traffic, Kodak 36 Foxtrot, on the left downwind runway 16, Seward.
Now we can descend all the way to 2,500. Seward traffic, Oscar Kilo Golf Papa Charlie, 5 miles north of the field at 4,200, descending 2,700. Okay, I can see the field.
Seward traffic, Kodak 36 Foxtrot, turning left base, runway 16, Seward.
Let's go down. Oh, that's the aircraft actually.
Seward traffic, Kodak 36 Foxtrot, turning final runway 16, full stop. Seward.
See the runway though. Okay. Yes, we'll get there. Basically falling down. Seward traffic, Oscar Kilo Golf Papa Charlie, 3 mile final runway 16, Stewart. Full flaps, everything. Carb heat can go off at this point.
Seward traffic, Kodak 36 Foxtrot, runway 16 located at Alpha, taxiing to parking, Seward.
Seward traffic, Oscar Kilo Golf Papa Charlie, short final runway 16, full stop.
Seward traffic, Sierra Papa Charlie Delta Lima, turning final runway 16, Seward traffic.
Seward traffic, Oscar Kilo Golf Papa Charlie, runway 16 vacated.
Seward traffic, Sierra Papa Charlie Delta Lima, on short final landing, 16 full stop, Seward traffic. Seward traffic, runway 16 is vacated, Seward traffic.
Right. So, let's bring it down. Need to disable that add-in because I hate it. Right. So, we are ready to land. That's great. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you outside. Yep. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time.